This is Relationship Talks with Rick and Naaman. I'm Rick.
And I am the DJ Blue.
And he is Naaman.
I am still the DJ Blue. It's 2021. Respect my gangster.
All right, Naaman.
It's the DJ Blue.
Before just a minute ago, you were playing a clip from Instagram, but it was via TikTok, and it was from a woman named Candy Cox. I know that name is kind of crazy.
You enjoyed saying that, didn't you?
No, I felt a little bit uncomfortable saying that, actually.
Say what's her screen again?
No. But
TikTok.
the thing that she said,
Candy Cox.
see, you enjoy saying that.
I did. It put a little twang on it.
So the thing she said that really resonated with what I wanted to talk about today was that some people marry potential and divorce reality.
Wow.
And that really goes back into some of the stuff that we've talked about in the past, how in relationships we kind of look at people for the wrong reasons, and we get enamored with them for the wrong reasons, and we're not actually looking at the reality of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So the question that I have for you today is love enough to maintain a relationship?
No, because love should be the foundation.
Okay.
But if you have nothing else, you just have foundation.
Foundation is not enough?
It's not enough. You need the rest of the stuff. You need the walls, you need the doors, you need the keys, you need everything else that would go along with it. But if you've just got the foundation laid out, yeah, you love this person, but why do you love them? You just obsessed over because they have blue shoes?
Blue shoes is enough to make you love somebody?
Well, that would be the foundation of that love. I mean, the thing is, I look at it from an artist standpoint. When I was younger, I would listen to, obviously, CDs, which are no longer a thing. But when you bought a CD, for me, I would buy that CD off of one song that I truly loved.
That's true.
I would buy like I remember when I first found out about, it was like Ludacris. Ludacris had one song. It was Southern Hospitality. It was Throw Them Bows. I love this song. I absolutely loved it, but I didn't know anything else about him. So my love for that one track, I bought the album, and that was the foundation. And then I realized I love him because he's a great artist. He's comedic, you know, in the things that he says. So in that sense, in a relationship, I mean, you need more than just love.
It's funny because thinking about love and just the simplest answer, we're gonna get into it more. The simplest answer to that is like, for me, I think no, love is definitely not enough. And the thing is that sometimes love changes, and sometimes love has different roles and different responsibilities. But I feel like you can fall in love with different things in a person, and also not necessarily be in love with that person.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of harkens back to the thing that we were talking about, I don't know, a few episodes ago. You can fall in love with the way that person treats you. You can fall in love with how that person looks. You can fall in love at 100 different things that a person does and not necessarily be in love with that person. But I feel like love is something that you still have to work at every day in order for a relationship. So love doesn't just make a relationship by itself.
And that's why I say, I mean, you need that foundation, which is the love, and you need something to put on top of that. I mean, like for me, it would just be other things. There would have to be consistent reasons why you like or love that person. So it can't just be, I love this person. Like I say, for the blue shoes. Like I love blue shoes because what if they stop wearing the blue shoes? You know, that's the foundation in which you were laying on. You know, was the fact that, hey, they wear blue shoes, or some people, they like people that wear nice glasses or something like that. You know, they don't wear these glasses anymore. They don't look as fly as they used to look. Like when you started dating her, she was gorgeous, but then she stopped. She took them lashes off.
It goes back to the I'm going to get you sucker. He wanted to talk to the girl, and she started taking stuff off.
Man, that was crazy.
That was a long time ago.
Lashes off, legs off.
No, she did take her leg off.
She took her leg off, started hopping around. She took boobs off. Boobs and butts was flying everywhere. But, I mean, that's the society we live in. It was a joke, but it was amazing. They were joke masters.
That's funny because that was in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
It was a movie in the 80s called I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, and It wasn't Damon. What was the other Wayans?
Damon. It was Damon Wayans.
Was it
no,
Damon?
it wasn't Damon. You're right. It was Keenan.
It started Keenan Wayans, and it was a scene where he lied about his penis size, and he got to the room and he was like, "Well, I lied about how big my penis is," and she's like, "It's cool, I lied too," and then she starts takes off her hair, her breast, everything. Like it started out simple, like these nails aren't real, but then like she had one leg and she was hopping on. That's
the society we live in, though. That's the society. I mean, because the thing is, essentially, most of the people to go out is some type of lie they telling to get these people, and that's why these relationships aren't working out, because they lying to these people. And then when you get there, you know, you have everything you want. You lied about this one thing, but they lied about everything else. So essentially, they're just taking off parts of that body that you liked.
What's hilarious is that I heard married people say that our divorced people actually say that, that stuff that I thought I loved, it never really existed.
Yeah.
So it's funny to think about that. If I was going to change Mrs. Candy's quote, I would say so many people fall in love with illusions.
Yeah.
And not potential. I mean, I feel like people can fall in love with potential, but I feel like sometimes people fall in love with illusions, whether they're creating the illusion solely by themselves or if the person is a willing participant in creating an illusion.
Yeah, so you need two parties to lie. And that's what I mean. It's funny you brought up the that concept of her stripping everything down, because you could do that in a more metaphorical term, which is, you know, when you get with someone and then they start stripping off little pieces that you did like when you originally started talking to him, because that's how that was. He looked at her and he liked her because of the way she looked.
Right.
And that's what drew him in. So when he got to her and she started taking off all of those things, which most people do, most people start slowly dropping those things, because in the end, that weight of all of those things, the pressure of the things that they're wearing is going to get heavy, because that's not something that, you know, they're used to doing.
And it's funny because some people hold that illusion for so long, and it's like a representative, and they're doing these things to make sure that you like them. But the thing is, you can only fake it for so long.
Yeah, and that gets too heavy.
It does get too heavy, and you end up being like, you weren't like this when I married you. Right. I wasn't really myself when you married me. So
you're right. I was a totally different person. It's like, but I mean, and that's the thing. You can be a different person. However, if you are growing, you know, that's different. If you're growing out of that shell or you're growing out of those things, that's different. But if you're taking off the additions that you added to make yourself look better, right? The lies, if you're taking off the lies because you finally want to reveal the truth, you know, and you start unweighing and you feel better, but the person that you lied to is gonna miss those lies.
It's kind of like when you get with somebody and like when you get with a woman and you're like, "Oh, do you like sports?" And she's like, "Yeah, I love sports."
She loves sports,
and she might fake it for a while, and then y'all finally really together, and they're like, "Hey, babe, let's watch this game," and she's like,
"Right." She's like, "Oh man," now you want to watch the game every night because you love sports. But you don't know the difference between baseball and golf. You think they're both the same.
It's a white ball and both.
Ball, white ball and white men playing it. You don't know what's happening here. They both wear cleats. Who knows what's going on here? Like, that's all she knows. That's a concept.
That is a concept. It's something to really think about. A representation, how you represent yourself to another person when you first meet them. I was guessing on somebody's show the other day, and we were talking about how it is things that men and women forgive and the opposite, and it's kind of different for each one. Like they'll say men will forgive more faults of a woman if she's pretty. The prettier she is, the more faults that you will forgive in it.
Yeah, that's
and then
true.
Like for women, this is not all encompassing, but this is just a generalization. For women, it would be like provider. Like, if you're providing for me, but you have all these other things that get you, the better you provide, the more I'm willing to forgive some of your other faults.
Yeah, the prettier she is, the more he'll provide when she. I mean, but that's how it goes.
But but the thing that we kind of hit on was that, you know, those are two things that could change really drastically, really quickly. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Something can happen, and a woman or a man, you can lose your looks just like that.
Then you can lose your job.
And you can lose your job. I was like, a lot of people that were thriving before the pandemic now are having a hard time. Some of them
broke.
Like, you think about the commercial real estate market. Now, before the pandemic hit, the commercial real estate market was huge. Then a lot of companies downsized their workforce and sent the workforce home, so they don't need as much of that commercial space. So you were expecting to be getting X amount of dollars every month. Now you're getting like a quarter, a fraction of that. You know what I mean? And that industry changed. And at the same time, it was somebody who was making like PPE, personal protection equipment, that wasn't making that much. They're making a decent amount. But like this happened, and then they just happened to be positioned in the right place. And they went from being like maybe a scrub to being like, you know, on top of the food chain because they was in the right spot. So I think it's really important, one, like when you're basing your love, like base your love on something that's going to last, like a person's character. I mean, even though everything can change, but judge it, you got to be on some character. You got to be on some compatibility.
Yeah, I would say characteristics are definitely the best part because most of those things are stuck. You know, even if they change up a little bit, they still going to have those same, you know, loving characteristics. If they're loving characteristics, I mean, some men and women like to be beat up. So, I mean, if they got that characteristic that you like, then that's it.
Yeah.
You know, follow that. But I mean, following something that's, you know, definitely made up. I guess you really don't have that what's the word? You can't see, you know, if they're lying to you initially, you know. So I guess that's the hard part is how do you know if someone is, you know, dressed up before you get them back?
I mean, some people are so good at playing these roles that you get so encompassed in them before you really realize that they've been acting this whole time. Yeah. And I've heard a lot of women say that about men, especially those guys that you hear about. They have like 7 different baby mamas and they all pregnant at the same time, and they all of them thought that they were the only woman.
Yes, man. How do you do that? I'd be late for work. I can't even make it.
You wouldn't be late for work because that is their job. That
right.
is their job.
It would have to be like, I can't be on time for work all the time, let alone, you know, 7
women.
7 women. And that's crazy.
So if you were going to build a house that made up of things in a relationship that would make a house, build me a house, what a successful relationship would look like.
A successful relationship looks like love would be the foundation, obviously. Respect would probably be the walls. And the door would just be just openness, just understanding.
Communication.
And trying to communicate, yeah. Those would be like the 3 major factors that would build the house. I mean, everything else would go into it, you know. Can they cook? That would be the electricity. Are they clean? That may be something like
I feel like that's baseline. Like, I don't know.
That's
like
like
they gotta be clean.
That's like the structural. That's like inside when you putting up the paint. You know what I mean? Those are the paint. Those are things that, you know, would be aesthetically pleasing.
Stuff that you expect, like just
like, you know what I'm saying? Like it has to have the paint. You know, well, are they klepto? Are they crazy? You know, if they're not, that is the bathroom. That's the bathroom. You know, you have to find out, I guess, those things. And once those are basics, you know, I think openness, respect.
The roof to that whole house will probably be compatibility.
Yeah.
Compatibility.
Are you compatible?
That would be the thing that encompasses everything.
Exactly. Finding that, because I guess you could have all of those other things and be completely uncompatible. And that would be fine because you're okay with it.
Yeah.
You know, that would be, I guess, in one way, that crazy enough, that's how they would be compatible. It's being uncompatible. It's like the whole stupid agree to disagree.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes that's valid, you know?
Yeah.
And that would be a heck of a house, but the thing that changes from relationships to houses is that a house you build one time, and like relationships are always going through renovations, and it's never necessarily
so are
finished.
Houses.
I mean, but I feel like some houses have stood the test of time and not changed that much.
I mean, if in that sense, you have to always work on that house.
I guess that's true.
I mean, because even if when you moved into your home, it was pretty put together, but still there's always some way where you can improve it. It's not like it was bad, but there's always room
paint
to improve it.
Add pictures,
anything. You
put a rug down. down.
Put a rug down. You things you could do in your backyard. That's your space.
Oh, and that fire pit was clutch.
Exactly. So, and that's basically what you could do in the relationship.
Fire pit would be passion. That would be in the backyard with a hot tub.
Oh my God, with a hot tub. Now I can get with that, but that's the passion. That's the passion. It's a hot tub.
There you go.
Hot tub is love, is what that is.
Hot tub is love.
But yeah, I mean, it would be just like a house. I mean, because you constantly have to work on it. You want to keep ownership over it. You want to make sure you've got claims on it. You don't want anybody else taking it. You want to live in it, and you want to be comfortable.
I guess that's a great analogy because if you think about it, if you don't pay attention to certain things in the house, they will start to get run down, and then they could cause serious problems to the rest of the house.
Yeah.
So each part of the house is important, like structurally, you know, like if your roof gets a leak in it, it's going to start to affect your foundation and your walls and your floors and your ceilings.
Man.
So when you bring it back, man, that Dr. Sauty is rubbing up on this. So what I mean is, if you take that analogy and you take it all away, a house isn't complete without all of the parts being functional.
Right, and a chair is still a chair even when no one is sitting there. But a house is not a home when no one lives there.
Thank you, Luther.
But
yeah, so one damaged part of your house can destroy your house, basically. Yeah. Like if your roof is messed up bad enough, it can mess up your whole house. If your foundation is cracked, it can make your whole house slide and split. And so it's important. People keep up with your foundations.
Yeah, keep up with your foundations. Make sure that your door is locked. Make sure ain't nobody else in your house when they're not supposed to be there.
Don't be letting them neighbors peek in your yard.
Don't let the neighbors peek in your yard. Don't let the dogs poop on your lawns. Don't allow them to do it because somebody's going to have to clean it up. That's a concept too. Wow.
That is a concept, right?
Man,
it's like bringing that house thing. It's kind of
the house clutch. Because it's the same concept. I mean, you need the house to be warm. You know, you need it to be warm especially in the winter when it's cold. In the summer, you need it to be kind of cool. Relaxed.
Yeah, see, that's funny because you add that in different seasons.
Yeah,
you need different things for that house. So, in the winter, you need heat. And the summer,
did we just become doctors of relationships?
That's what I'm saying, right?
Did we just become doctors of relationships?
I think we did it. There it is.
Dr. Blue.
Dr. Name, and there we go. There it is. Boom.
Dr. DJ Blue is what you meant to say, but I get it. You were on the right page.
But yeah, so different seasons, you need different things. Yeah. And like life is seasonal. It's times. Yeah. It's times where I can be strong in a relationship, and it's times where I actually just need somebody to comfort me. Like the person that I'm with, I would need her to comfort me sometimes. Because we can't be strong all the time. We go through seasons and it's different times that we need different things.
Oh, yeah, you definitely. I mean, that's one thing for sure. I mean, in any house, if you will, if we're talking about homes now.
We're talking about homes.
Because homes are relationships.
There it is.
In any house, you need, you know, a giving party. You know what I mean? You need somebody who's going to fix up your house if you're broken down.
Right.
And the thing is, the man who would essentially be the provider of the house, he should be in the house. He should be working on the house all the time.
Right.
You know, as well as the woman. But you still need two people that can say, hey, you know, maybe we got a leaky faucet. You're going to have to fix this. I can't fix it this time. I need your help.
Right.
You know,
I mean,
if
you go back to traditional gender roles in America, you think about it. I'm not saying that one role was higher than the other, but it took two parts to really make the classic American home work. Yeah. The woman ran the house and the man provided for the house, making sure that the roof stayed over your head. But at the same time, the woman was making sure that everything under the roof was taken care of. The kids were taken care of. The husband was taken care of. And I mean, so now those gender roles can kind of shift around, and it really depends on what kind of relationship you're looking for, you and your mate are looking for. But
what kind of house you're looking for.
Yeah, what kind of house you're looking for. But I feel like both parties definitely have a part to play, and it should be an equal part because it's not a 50-50 thing. It's a 100-100 thing. Yeah. And you both got to really give your all in order to make sure that this house is not only being stocked and it has everything that it needs into it, but it's being maintained.
So what Dr.
And expanded
Dodds,
upon.
What Dr. Dodds is saying here, he's basically saying that in your house, if you have issues, don't be afraid because you can always get a home makeover.
There it is.
Move that bus.
I mean, because you think about it, you take a makeover to a relationship in regards to that. Sometimes you need to go see a relationship psychologist. Sometimes you go see a relationship counselor, a family counselor, and I feel like that is the equivalent because sometimes it could get stale. And it's like, ooh, this house has looked like this since the 80s. Let's go see somebody, or let's take a trip. Let's do something to renovate this house to make it new. Let's bring something exciting and new. Yeah. So it's nothing wrong. Like, it's nothing wrong with seeing a psychologist. Sometimes you just need to talk to somebody. Sometimes
you need to Dr. Rick and myself.
Unbiased party.
Me and Dr. Rick, we are taking appointments anytime. What is it? Clubhouse. We should have our Clubhouse doctor appointments. The doctors are in the house.
Doctors in the house.
That's it.
But yeah, so it's just so much that goes with that, and you can look at certain relationships and you can be like, ooh, that house is run down a little bit.
Yeah, that house needs work.
That house needs some work.
That house been in the hood for a long time.
Yeah, and it really does take both people to make that relationship, that house really function the way that it should.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I look at it like the good carpenters, the best carpenters, they find the best homes. And, honestly, carpenters do pretty much have like the best homes.
That's because they can do everything in those homes.
That's crazy.
So speaking of carpenters,
we should be carpenters of love.
Carpenters, look at that.
Boom.
You just on fire today.
Gems. I'm dropping gems.
So thinking about carpentry, I'm thinking about another. So like what do you call it? The wood that's in the walls, the structure.
Yeah.
The structure of the walls.
Asbestos, yes.
Not the asbestos. You don't want asbestos. And some people have asbestos in their marriage,
and
they're slowly carrying
asbestos. And they don't even know it. Like, they don't even know it's asbestos. They just
start coughing.
Right. You just start coughing and getting sick because your home is infected.
And if you don't clean it out, it's going to kill you.
It's going to kill you. It's going to kill everything that you love.
But if I would say that if love is the foundation, I would say that trust is definitely the frame.
Ooh, yes. That's it.
Trust is definitely the frame. So
that's it.
My question, my follow-up question for you is, do you feel like you can have love without trust?
No. I wouldn't. Yes. I would say yes. I mean, because there's a deep level of lying in that love. I'm saying, so you could technically do it. Because
I guess I see where you're coming from.
Sometimes you will instill trust in someone because you love them, even if you're lying. I mean, maybe you gotta lie to get them to trust you because you love them and you want to help them.
But is that really love?
Yes, absolutely. Because love is essentially wanting that person to be better. You want them. You want more for them than you would want for yourself in that particular situation. And that's what that would be if that's why you were, quote unquote, lying. and being distrusting.
Some people would just lie just to lie.
So trustworthy. I mean, but that's the thing. But in that sense, there's a reason why you're doing it. So maybe they should trust you after all. No, I don't know. I'm just manipulative. I can't really. I just basically just made myself believe that was a good idea. That was a terrible idea.
I mean, it's so many times that your trust, and especially in relationships, if we go back to a couple of episodes, the love episode, the unconditional love episode, your trust can be broken so easily because it takes a lot to build trust, and it takes it's easy to break trust.
Right.
So a quote that Pastor Michael Todd gave was that trust is gained in drops and it's lost in buckets.
Wow.
So it takes a long time to get trust, but you can lose it like that.
Super fast.
And it's crazy how fast. And I think I heard something in counseling one time where it says for every bad thing that happens, it takes 5 good things to overcome the one bad thing.
That's a lot.
So you think about the ratio. So you could be. So you remember being in relationships where you be going through stuff and the other person's like, oh my God, this is not working. This is so bad. And it's like, hold on.
I don't remember being in a relationship like that.
But we have like and you start naming off all these great things that happen, but like to them, the relationship is going bad. But it's like one bad thing happened and 5 other good things happen, and then the relationship is just trash from there.
That's it.
So trust is definitely a very important part, and it's just hard to gain that trust back. And even especially when you build your foundation on love and trust is a big part of that. Once part of that's broken, a lot of times you have to rebuild it because it makes you unsure about the rest of the house.
Yeah. So you don't want to fall through that floor.
Because, I mean, if the floor breaks one time, if a board breaks in the floor, even if you go and fix it, depending on how traumatic it was, you're going to be leery every time you walk past that spot.
Jeez. That's a concept. And that's in relationships too. Because, I mean, if you have a situation in a relationship, I mean, you won't want to revisit it, especially if it put a hole in your relationship.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to revisit that.
That's why I don't think that I could really truly love more than one person at the same time.
You could. I've seen you do it.
Shut up. Romantically.
No, but you could love them to do other stuff, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
I don't think that you can love more than one person romantically in that way, because the thing is that you put so much energy and effort into that person. Well, I know me personally, I put so much energy and effort into that person that I couldn't possibly share myself.
Are you putting your energy into someone right now, Richard? You seem so experienced, Dr. Rick.
It's just life experience, you know.
Is it?
It is.
That sounds interesting. Why are you getting so quiet? Why are you clamming up on us? This is good experience. We're trying to learn from the love doctor.
Who's the love doctor?
You are.
I thought we were.
I'm a part of the team. I'm the background.
Now it's just on me.
I'm the background music.
How about this? Tell me. I'll give you my story and you give me your story. Tell me about a time that you were in love.
We're gonna get really intimate here.
Let's go.
I was young. I found myself in between two beautiful women.
I feel like I need to have some soft music playing in the background.
I feel like you do. But I was between two beautiful women. I found myself struck. Love struck.
Love struck.
Love struck.
Like the song, Love Struck, baby.
Here I am. I'm with this one girl, and then I'm with this other one as well, and I don't know who to choose. And they're both fawning over me. They're like, ooh, the DJ Blue, we want you. And I'm like, I can't be there. And they're like, why? Because I'm with this other one. I was completely honest. And then I woke up and realized I've truly never been in love. Just kidding. I love music.
I mean, how about a person? Hey, how'd I know you were going on a drink with that? I was like, hold on, wait, this does not make any sense. I don't remember.
I love music. I mean, but no, I mean, honestly, like I'm extremely passionate. So I don't use terminologies like love loosely.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I would say I know how love is, and I know what love is to be in love.
Yeah.
I mean, because you don't stop thinking about that person. You want that person to be happy regardless if it makes you happy or not. That's period. Like that's like the unselfless, like it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You want that person to be happy.
Regardless of whatever.
Period. It doesn't matter. You just want that person to be happy. You want that person to be comfortable. You want that person to be free. You want that person to be you just want them to feel like they can do anything.
Yeah.
And it does nothing for you but to make you happy because you love them.
But when you're in love like that, seeing them happy, helping to facilitate
makes you feel good.
That happiness makes you happy.
It makes you happy, but you're not doing it with the intensive purpose of being happy. You're doing it with the intensive purpose of seeing them happy, and seeing them happy ultimately makes you happy.
And
so
that's
that circle,
thing.
that circle that you're caught in is amazing because you're constantly gravitating towards being happy for the sake of making them happy, and it makes you happy. You're not doing anything.
Right.
You're not going out of your way. They don't want you to go out of your way, so you're not. But it still makes you happy. You want to do more. You can't help it.
And if you can find somebody that gives you that energy that you're giving them back,
you explode.
That's what you want.
You explode.
You want somebody who feels the same way about you in those ways, because that truly is a beautiful thing.
It is.
For me, I can think about the first time I really felt like I was in love as an adult. You know what I mean? Getting ready to go to college, it was somebody that I dated. I was crazy about her, and you know the way that we started out. We started out as friends, really close friends, and I remember when we met, and I was like, "Yo, like because I met her through my sister, and when she was introduced to me, it's like that's my brother Richard, but his nickname is Ricky." And I was like, but I hate that nickname. And she's like, all right, Ricky, it is. So, you know, from that very moment, we kind of had like a back and forth things where we were really close and we were really, really friends. And we just enjoyed spending time with one another and just really enjoyed each other's company until one day, you know, we decided that we wanted to make it something more. And it was a beautiful relationship. And it's like one of those relationships that, whenever you're in love like that, especially at a young age, you know, we was teenagers.
Yeah.
When you're in love like that, you feel like, oh my gosh, this is it.
Yeah, it's nothing else.
This is all it is gonna be. And then you go to college, and she goes to a different college, but you start to grow apart. And then by the time you see them again, you realize it's like, wow, we really grown in different ways. And it's kind of like sometimes you're in love with that nostalgia love. I remember we reconnected like years later, and it's like, we still had that connection, that chemistry was still there, but it wasn't quite.
It was puppy love.
It was just so much more that it took than love.
Yeah.
Like we still definitely, I still got love to her to this day. And if she's listening, she
like
knows who I'm talking about. But it's like, it's not the same kind of love.
You talking about Teresa?
Teresa.
You talking about Teresa?
Teresa.
Or is this Shakira?
Shakira.
Is that her? Who are you talking about? Leslie? Tanisha? Jackie?
How many girls were there?
I don't know. You tell me. This is your list. Your list. This is the black book I'm going through.
But no, so the funny thing is, it's like, it's just like any other thing. It's been so many times, like me and Naaman are gamers. Well, we used to be. I haven't played this year at all. Like I don't get to play as much as I used to, but like it would be games that I would love. Mm-hmm. And I would go back and play those games after like years and years and years, and I would have this fondness for it. It's like, oh, I love this game, and then I get to playing it, I'm like, ooh, right. This ain't.
It was this nostalgic for that time.
This ain't what I remembered, and not only that, like you add on top of that your taste changes. Yeah. So you've been playing different stuff, and now you get back to that, and it's like, ooh, like I used to like this back in the day, but I don't know if this is still my speed anymore.
Man, that's crazy. That's true. And that's how relationships are.
I think some people get in trouble being in relationships where they start to fantasize about other relationships that they were in. And they were like, oh, these relationships are so good. It's a really good movie about that. Actually, it's called 500 Days of Summer. And it has, what's the guy's name? The guy from Third Rock from the Sun. Gordon Levitt. Had what's his name?
Jordan Levitt, something like that.
Gordon Levitt. It had Gordon Levitt. I can't remember his first name, and it had Zooey Deschanel in it. Okay. And the girl's name was Summer, and he spent 500 days with her basically, and they had broken up. This is not a spoiler because it's at the very beginning. He had broken up with her, and so he was going through this withdrawal, and all he was remembering were all these excellent, great times that they had together, and he was, you know, like romanticizing their whole relationship. And in the end, he had to start looking at the relationship as a whole. And when he went through the relationship as a whole, he saw all of these incompatibilities, inconsistencies, all these times where he had been hurt by her. And I can think about times where it's like, oh, I just cared about this person so much. And then I like really look back and analyze the things that happened, and I was like, yo, that wasn't like the most healthy relationship ever. You know what I mean? It's like, this wasn't great for my psyche. This didn't do good stuff for my head, my mental space. And then you think about those times where you're really disrespected, and other things happen, and it's like, wow, like why am I romanticizing this love when you put it in this wholeness, it's not good.
Yeah, nothing but pain.
I mean, nothing but pain, but it's funny because, I mean, I feel like social media has the same outlook, because when you're putting stuff up on social media, it's usually the highlights. You're not putting up the nights where you're alone and you're crying or whatever the case may be. You're only putting up the good stuff. So I feel like a lot of people get duped into thinking that everybody's always happy.
Agreed. I mean, false happiness is not happiness.
It's not. So especially in these times now, I would just say, You know, everybody's going through something, and I feel like one of the ways that has always helped me to feel better is like helping somebody else. And helping somebody else reminds you it's not about how valuable you are, but it's about how blessed you are. And it's a blessing to be able to help somebody else, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Even if it's something simple, because something simple to you may be life-changing for somebody else.
100%.
But yeah, with that said, we'd like to thank you as always for listening to the show. To be a part of the conversation, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Rick and Naaman. Please be sure to rate and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting app. You can find me at Doddism, and that's DODDSISM. And you can find Naaman at
I am the DJ Blue on pretty much any platform.
Yep. Well, until next time, boys and girls, remember,
there's always a next time.